So, I wasn't able to get a spooky game video out earlier in October like I usually do, reviewing 2 spooky games during that time for Halloween, so I'm letting it spill over into November instead. It just makes me wonder if I'll be able to find a suitable game for the Christmas season later, or if I'm gonna have to come up with some sort of excuse. Either way, we're back to talking about ghosts, murder mysteries, and time travel? Some of you may be familiar with this game given its cult classic status. It's a 2010 puzzle game from the DS that came and went. I actually had a copy of this game back then, although I was a little kid, so I don't think I got through very much of it. I remember the beginning very distinctly, but after that everything's a bit of a blur. Kinda like our main character, actually. Well, let's see what so many of us have been missing out on, huh? This is Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. I just want to say before I start the recording again, the first time I did this, the recording sounded fine, but a bug rammed itself into my window right over here, and when I listened back to it, the microphone had actually picked it up. So yeah, I have to redo the take now, but I just wanted to make sure you all knew that, because I was just flabbergasted by it. Speaking on the style first, you know I love me a good comic book look, and Ghost Trick nails it. The borderlines are incredibly thick and the colors are so varied and vibrant, it breathes a ton of life into this world. Combined with the little quirks and mannerisms of each and every character you meet, everyone becomes memorable in some way and they're all very entertaining to watch. Even background characters like the unnamed prison guards, just the way they walk adds that bit more character to what would otherwise be a slow and uninteresting scene and character whenever they arrive. And the music, oh, the music. Why does the music for this game go so hard? You'll be listening to the exposition and exploration music during the video, but I also want to give you a taste of the main theme song because it is just that good. So yeah, Ghost Trick absolutely nails its style, like a goofier version of Phoenix Wright, but with ghosts. And there's a reason for that. But on the subject of ghosts, let's talk about the story. If you're getting any Phoenix Wright vibes from this game, well, let's just say it's not exactly an accident. The story is just as elaborate as any Ace Attorney case, with the difference being your perspective. You play as Sissel, a dead man. Having just been killed by an unknown assailant, Sissel wakes up with no memories, not even remembering his own name. He's got to figure that out for himself too. After being instructed by a ghost possessing a desk lamp, Sissel learns that he is one of the few people who has obtained the powers of the dead, a vague way of saying that he can possess and manipulate inanimate objects. The catch? He's only going to be around for the night, so he has to use his powers, his ghost tricks, to figure out who he was, how he died, and what role he was playing in the grand story of everything happening on that fateful night before he fades away for good. With the ability to save the lives of the recently deceased via time travel by going back 4 minutes before their death, Sissel has a pretty unique way of investigating the world around him. There's a reason this game is a cult classic beyond just the style of it all. The story is a really well constructed mystery, packing in so many events within such a short time span as a single night. There are so many chapters too, 18 in total if you count the finale chapter. It's surprisingly long for what it is, and while I think they could have mushed just a few of those chapters together for length, it does help ensure that every loose end is accounted for. And each chapter exists as its own little micro mystery that you need to solve to progress the macro mystery, usually involving saving someone's life. The whole thing is generally weaved together really well. I can see why so many people look back fondly on this game. Another reason for that being the gameplay. The gameplay actually translates over to PC really well. The original DS game primarily used the stylus with the occasional button inputs if you're feeling particularly lazy. However, this means that the game is actually perfect for PC since it's fundamentally just a slightly different form of a point-and-click adventure. See? I fooled you. You thought this was a nostalgic DS game review, but it was actually a point-and-click game all along. Haha! However, unlike most point-and-clicks I talk about, the gameplay is very unique. No object gathering, no mashing things together to solve puzzles, and there's only the occasional exhausting of dialogue options. Instead, the gameplay consists of you jumping between objects, specifically ones with cores that you can see in the ghost world, and using them to solve puzzles. From gathering information, catching a ride via an object or a piece of clothing, defeating assassins and saving lives in the process. You know how point-and-click games are usually stories with the occasional puzzle stopping your progress? Think of Ghost Trick as the reverse of that. It's a puzzle game where you have story moments in between your big puzzles. Again, kinda like the Ace Attorney games. And because they're more like actual puzzles, you feel really good when you solve them. The game gives you just enough hints to get you to intuit what you're supposed to do most of the time without feeling like it's holding your hand through the puzzles. The game will occasionally give you hints through dialogue or Sissel's internal monologue using these little thought bubbles, but they are voluntary and they also provide occasionally funny little interactions as well. All in all, unique gameplay that isn't the same point-and-click puzzles over and over again, like many point-and-clicks are. So, do I recommend Ghost Trick? Absolutely. If you can get your hands on a physical DS copy, that's a good way to play it, but this PC remaster is just as good, if not better than the original version. None of the charm of the story or gameplay is lost in the transition to PC. The visuals are even better than before, and the music is so much clearer and even arranged. Just a great detective puzzle game all around. Capcom's done it again. This has been TheRatMan, and I will see you all later.